guess what? We're live.
Hey, guess what? It's just the Sky Kid. Still Thursday night, and we're hanging out with Ed Chapman, who, if you go back and watch previously, did a whole hour set for us, so you can watch his music live. Welcome, Ed.
Thanks.
Hello. Thanks for spending your Thursday evening with us.
Well, it's a beautiful drive coming out. It'll be dark going back, so it's a good thing I saw everything that I needed to coming out.
And just for clarification, South Beloit is in Illinois.
Yes.
Which is what, closest to Rockford, yeah?
It's literally across the board. I'm on the other side of the tracks from Beloit.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, South Beloit would be south of Beloit. So
Illinois is not real imaginative in naming their cities. You go across the river from St. Louis, you're now in East St. Louis.
Yeah, that's true. There's a job post under there. I'm familiar with that. So let's talk about like your history, I guess. You've only been in this area a year and a half, you said.
Right.
You retired to find employment.
I retired incorrectly, yes. Yeah.
All right, and so you came up here for just a change of scenery from Texas?
Change of scenery from Texas, just I don't know. I guess more just wanted a fresh start somewhere new.
And how has that been treating you?
Not too bad. There's been a lot of opportunity to play.
Mm-hmm.
I am part of a duo, Eclectic Red. We have a Facebook page as well, Eclectic Red 608. We do have what we call song selfies, where we'll do a video of us doing a song. Of course, we put on there that we don't own the rights to the song. Probably that doesn't matter, because if somebody doesn't like that, they're going to make us take it down anyway. But we have songs going from the 1920s to today.
Wow.
And it's just a lot of fun. We enjoy playing. We enjoy performing.
So how long have you been a singer-songwriter and playing as this?
Really just recently. I mean, probably the first song that I wrote in a long time was the food truck song. And I just kind of looked at that as like, that was just on a whim. And then next thing I know, other songs start coming in, and I'm starting to write more, and I'm starting to sing more. Excuse me. And then I meet up with a fellow named Walter Lee, who gets me involved in the Kerrville Folk Festival. And that's an 18-day festival, runs late May into early June in Kerrville, Texas. I'm originally from San Antonio, so it's about an hour northwest of San Antonio. And it's folk music concerts. It's song circles until 4, 5, 7, 8 in the morning.
All day.
All day. It's nothing but music, and it's music from the heart. It's music. It's roots music. It's folk music. It's everything that I've kind of found that's who I am.
So how, now transitioning from Texas to up here, did you kind of acclimate and grow into the music scene that allowed you to book and play out?
I did have to acclimate a little bit. I can still, a lot of the places I play, I can get away with the folk music and the folk style, and that works. But I found I've had to learn some covers, so excuse me, just getting over allergies after coming back from Texas, and they're still kind of caught right there. Yeah.
You've got the post-nasal drip.
To say the least.
So when you came up here, what kind of sparked or fueled getting into the music scene? How did you enter?
I was actually looking through the State Line News, and it's like, oh look, here's an open mic in Delavan, at Lake Delavan, at the Lounge, at Delavan Lake Store. Why not? And called them up, and I said, hey, are y'all having open mic tonight? And I think it was one of the bartenders. We've become pretty good friends. Her name is Micah, and she said, yeah, we are. So I went out there and played some of my covers, and next thing I know, it's like, hey, we've got an opening on this date. How would you like to come out? Okay. And it just kind of started from there. I do host an open mic in Janesville at the Looking Glass. We do that one night a month, so the next time that we're doing it is on St. Patrick's Day Eve.
Ooh, the 16th.
The 16th. So if you're near Janesville, come on out, bring an Irish song. Look at the open mic at Looking Glass webpage on Facebook, because we do have a list so that we don't double up any Irish songs. And it's not a requirement, but bring some Irish songs and wear green.
Oh,
yes.
Or you'll get pinched.
Well, I'm not going to pinch you.
Eyes are green, I'm covered.
Your eyes are green. Your blood is red. You're good.
Okay.
So how did you set that up? Like, what led to you setting up in Janesville an open mic?
Actually, there was one that was already going, and the person that was hosting it was at a point where he was working for the post office, had to be up super early in the morning, and he was wanting to give it up anyway, so we kind of worked it out between the two of us where I took it over. And it's been a lot of fun. It's also been a learning experience.
Yeah, what have you learned?
I've learned that the Spotted Cow beer is usually pretty good there.
That's the learning curve.
Their pizza is good, especially if you get it with extra. Okay, no. Seriously, what I've learned more is how to deal with musicians, because we are a fickle sort. So it's learning how to deal with the different musicians that come in. A lot of them that come in are just really friendly and just want to come in and have a good time.
Yeah, I would say off camera what we were talking about is you being just over the border in Illinois, but establishing in Janesville. A lot of the bands who've come through our path also know you, and it would seem that it doesn't matter the genre or anything. All of those people in the music scene in Janesville work cohesively to support each other, which I would have to say hats off and kudos, because that is kind of a rare phenomenon.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Jesse Ramirez, a friend of mine,
Not
Tim
the night
O'Grady.
stalker.
Yeah, no. A friend of mine, Tim O'Grady, was out of town, was in Nashville this last week, and he asked me if I would cover his open mic. Sure, why not? So I go out, and who comes in the door but Jesse? And it's like, hey, I'm just here to support this.
Wonderful.
So yeah, it's a great scene out in that area.
So, do you bounce back and forth between Texas, Wisconsin, Illinois playing music? Or have you now, since being here, said, okay, I'm going to focus my efforts on working around this area to play?
I'm more focused in this area.
Okay.
Where Delavan, I play there once a month. They're at the lakes. They're at the lounge at the lake store. I get several calls now to play with Dan, because Dan Tritton with the Unplug the Rock down in Rockford, and that's a great group of guys. I haven't come across a group of people that's more fun to play with.
We're all like, your phone is buzzing.
Yes, my phone is buzzing. Stop buzzing. There, that should do it.
There you go. Like your guitar, it stayed put.
Well, it did.
It did. So how did you get involved with Dan and the Unplug the Rock?
I was talking with a friend of mine, RJ Halstead, and
We've played his music too.
yeah, great, amazing guitar player. Oh gosh, he's all over that instrument. But I was, it's like, what do you do? Who can I contact to start doing something? He said, look up Unplug the Rock, talk to Dan. And I did, and I went out and I played, and Dan liked what he heard, apparently, because he keeps calling me back.
Wonderful.
So it's like, yay. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love getting up and playing for people.
So you mentioned while you were performing that, and we've mentioned several times now, festival. Are
Right.
you more of a festival goer performer, and is that majority of your shows out?
A majority of my shows are actually going and playing at different venues.
Okay.
Festivals, I've played the Kerrville Folk Festival twice. Walt Lee, I mentioned him earlier. He has the worship service on the second Sunday up there, and I've played with him 2 years. I missed last year, and I'm going to miss this year. It's sad. I really wish I could be there. The Kerrville Folk Festival is just, it's its own world.
Yeah.
And it's a blast. If you get a chance to go. There's nothing like it. I was fortunate enough to get to play Summerfest last year.
Wonderful.
Yeah. I auditioned and got a spot on the ground floor stage.
I was going to say Party Marty and Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know them too.
Yeah, John Rouse. That was just a great time.
Wonderful. We just posted that they're having auditions for the ground floor stage.
Right, I saw that, and I will probably audition again.
Wonderful. So with, summer about to break, spring, summer is coming, and that's, music heavy season.
Right.
What do you have lined up?
Basically every last Saturday at the Lake Store, whatever Dan can find, and I figure with summer coming up, that's going to open up more. Karen and I got to play at Mortimer's Roadhouse a couple of weeks, or this last Sunday, in fact, and had a great time out there. Dan was heading it up, and the manager came up and asked for a card, and so we're hopeful that we're going to get to play out there sometime over the summer. We'll get to play, at the farmers markets in Janesville. Kind of hoping that Beloit works out with the farmers market. So, and then of course Strawberry Fest on June 20th of this year at Sun Valley Presbyterian in Beloit. We've got some great entertainment lined up, but I'm going to take the first set, and Eclectic Red is going to take the last set. So there's some things coming up, and we're hoping for more.
I love that you are the perfect product placement for said folk festival, Kerrville Folk Festival, a world of its own. So, way to go there.
Yeah.
Well placed. So when you're booking, okay, do you reach out to said venue first? Like, are you doing research and you're like, oh, I'm going to just contact this place and send them whatever? Or are you connecting to these various places because you have friends who've played there who have suggested you go? Or is it kind of a mixed bag? How does booking work?
Yes.
All of it.
All of it. I've reached out several places that I got to play last year. Apple Barn, for one. That just kind of happened by chance. Somebody had to cancel, and a friend of mine that was getting the music for that, he asked if I wanted to play. It's like, sure. So got out there, played. Ends up that they like me. He told me they're going to call me back this year.
Wonderful.
So there are times that I'll reach out, and I haven't been real successful with that, and I'm not certain why. I did get a response from one place that said, well, you play a lot of the same covers as our other performers. Well, yeah, one, they're good songs. And two, they probably don't do them like me, and I probably don't do them like they do.
Right.
So...
Is it easier to book when you're playing covers, or is it easier as original music, or it just doesn't matter?
From what I'm finding, it's easier to book with covers. People want to have songs that they recognize.
That they can sing to.
That they can sing along with. And if I can work in some originals, then I have the way to do that with the shows. But for the most part, what I find is covers seem to work really well.
Do you enjoy playing covers more than your own music? Because you can sing along and it's something that is fun to do?
I don't know. That's a really good question. I hadn't really thought of that.
We ask the best here on the show.
Okay. Wasn't prepared for that one. I thought it was going to be choice A, choice B, choice C.
This is
This is
D. Make
choice
sure to
Q.
fill in the bubble correctly or it won't get read.
Okay. I would have to say that it's probably just as much fun doing either.
Okay.
With the covers, when you know them well enough, you can start to mess with them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sweet Caroline, there's ways that you can mess with that song and have fun with it. Folsom Prison Blues, I do that like nobody else does, quite likely.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say how I do it because somebody may say, hey, that's a great idea, I'm going to steal it.
Right, don't do that.
So, yeah, stealing is bad.
Except when you're playing covers.
Yeah. So, there are ways that you can make covers fun. But knowing your original songs and knowing them well enough, you can make subtle changes.
Mm-hmm.
Like what I was joking with y'all before I started Road Trip. Gonna go on a road trip. Don't know when I'm going, but I know where I want to be, and it's probably snowing. So I didn't do it that way, but I did think about it.
So you played tonight your acoustic guitar,
Right.
and your uke.
Yes.
What other instruments do you incorporate, or are those the primary?
Those are the primary. I do have a baritone uke that I don't play much, but I have just, if there's something I'm trying to work out on the higher strings on the guitar, I have that to, it's a little bit more forgiving, so I can usually work through on that. I do have a second uke that has the low G instead of the high G. And that gives a completely different sound. So for things like Here Comes the Sun, that works really well. The low G works very well for that one.
So are these your primary instruments, or did you pick them up because you started doing this, or like how long have you been playing these instruments?
Guitar I've been playing since I was about 16. And I was learning bass guitar at the time, and my parents said, we'll get you one or the other for Christmas. So I said, let me get a 6-string. So they bought me an Alvarez guitar, and I had that for 20 years, loved it, and started finding I was playing more bass. So a friend of mine also liked it, and he bought it from me. And then through the course of time, last year we were together, it's like, hey, do you still have that Alvarez? He said, yeah. Do you want to buy it back? Yeah. So I have the guitar that I learned on in high school.
That's cool.
So that was kind of a fun homecoming story.
That is fun.
Yeah.
So how about other instruments? You're a band teacher, so do you know how to play
Yes.
everything? It's like a requirement, right?
The double reeds remain a mystery to me.
They are a mystery.
Yeah, on bassoon, I know thumb F, and I will tell the bassoon players that, and I tell them after that, you're on your own.
It's your job to
Oboe,
learn.
it's like, not even going to try. But yeah, most of the brass instruments, I'm a tuba player. That's kind of what got me hooked into music. Joining middle school band and learning how to play tuba, and it was the right instrument for me. So with that, got into college, had to take the woodwind courses, had to take the percussion courses, the strings courses, and with that, I teach band, I teach orchestra, and I have a blast doing it. I teach middle school kids, and I get to go to work and play every day.
Yeah. And go to conferences where there's more
Yeah.
music.
And cedar.
Yeah. And post-nasal drip. It's fun.
Yeah.
So, that being a band teacher and being able to go to work every day and play, are you, or do you ever expound upon the lesson and incorporate what you do in your private life into your professional life and like, hey, I play music out, like this is a thing you can do?
Oh yes, I do that all the time.
Wonderful.
I mean, the kids need to know that, you know, just because you're playing clarinet doesn't mean that you're going to be sitting. You know, there are other avenues. I mean, yeah, there are community bands, and you can do that. That's always an outlet. But there are so many more outlets now, more than what I remember growing up.
So when you started playing at 16 years old and you know, developing yourself as a musician, like when did you join a band that wasn't a traditional, you know, school band, and you know, kind of take us on the journey of I did this, and this.
I really never joined a band. I always wanted to.
I was the band.
Yeah, I always wanted to, but just never really got around to doing it.
Until now?
Well, and now I'm more of a solo performer, more of a duo performer with Eclectic Red. But no, I just never really got into that. Now, there were some churches that I would go to that I would play bass, and they had the full band set up. So I guess to more accurately answer that, it would be probably maybe 15, 20 years ago that I finally got into that situation and started playing regularly with some amazing musicians. I'm still amazed that they let me play with them.
A little help from your friend.
Yes.
Great.
But yeah, that was probably it, and that's where I got probably the drive to actually start. Let's see if I can actually do something with this.
Here's a great question. Are you ready? What is the difference in the musical climate between San Antonio and here? Because we have had bands come from Texas that have said that it is almost oversaturated in every market in Texas because that's what people do. They perform, they play music. And here, there's more of an opportunity to break in kind of to a scene if you're not from here.
I would completely agree with that.
Okay.
Where San Antonio, I kept trying to get shows and get some gigs. A friend of mine that played lead guitar on my CD, Bill Case, I counseled with him several times, and he said all you can do is go to open mics and hope that somebody comes up and asks. Whereas here, I mean, I go to the Lake Store and it's like, hey, you want to do a show?
Sure.
Okay. And I mean, yeah, everybody in Texas seems to have an outlet. And so with that, there's just not that many more outlets to be had, except for open mics. And there's some great ones down there, but I'm hoping for something more. And up here, I would agree, I have that opportunity.
Wonderful. So from that and being up here and playing in Delavan and Beloit, have you traveled outside of any of that area? Like, where the farthest south in Illinois have you played? And
Belvedere.
Where's the farthest north in Wisconsin you've played?
Still going to be Janesville.
And what about...
Well, until now, in fact, it would be now Kenosha.
What about west? Have you gone west from where you are?
West. Okay, that's going to
That'd
be
be
that
Iowa.
way. Yes, I played in Monroe.
Okay.
Played in Monroe over the summer. Had a good time out there.
Are you looking to continue to grow the opportunity to play out? Like, if somebody watching tonight was like, hey, I booked this place in Chicago, would you travel to go do that?
I'd go to Chicago.
Are there any places you wouldn't go?
Since all this right here is still new to me, I think that I would be willing to give it a chance and see where it is. And if they're on the up and up, and if they treat people right, then hello kitty, then I don't see any issue with going anywhere.
So why folk music? What makes you gravitate towards that genre?
I don't know.
You do know, damn it.
Okay. No, really, I don't know. It's just the style that appeals to me. I look back at a lot of the artists from the 70s, and when I look at what they were doing, and I mean 60s and 70s, and when I look at what they're doing, it's folk music.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Simon and Garfunkel, Scarborough Fair, great folk song. Jim Croce, I would argue that he was an amazing folk artist. I mean, of course, Peter, Paul, and Mary, which a couple of years ago at the Kerrville Folk Festival, I got to meet Peter Yarrow.
That's really cool.
That was really cool. It was his 80th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, he still insists that Puff the Magic Dragon is not what you think it's about. Okay. I think 1960s folk music is exactly what we think it's about.
You gotta get deeper, man.
Yeah, but I mean, Creedence Clearwater Revival. Even Glenn Campbell.
Mm-hmm. It was all folk.
Yeah.
Even the rock was heavily influenced by folk music.
Yeah. So I'm not really doing anything different than what anybody else has done.
How about new and exciting upcoming stuff? Do you have anything in the works as far as new music? You played something brand new for us tonight. Are you planning on making another album?
I am. It's going to take some time to come up with the material for it, and it's. I went through a dry spell where I just didn't write. I just didn't feel like writing. And then all of a sudden, just the last couple of months, I've written out 2 songs. So now it's a matter of continuing that. I've got other songs that I've written that I've kind of got on the back burner, just waiting to find out where they live, because every song lives in a different place. Mm-hmm. So there will be another project coming. I just don't know when.
And your next show that you have is when?
Next show that I have is on the 20th of this month, Belvedere American Legion. I'll get to play with Dan Tritton again. He's a blast.
Well, we wouldn't know, because even though we've asked him, he hasn't shown back up yet.
Yeah, Dan.
Just saying.
And then at the end of this month, I'll be at the Lake Store in Delavan.
So when we first heard about you, it was through Robbie, Elmer and the Ceramic Trees, who was opening.
It was mostly good.
It was.
Okay.
He was talking about how he was going to be the opening act for your CD release, and that album is. Plug your stuff.
Plug my stuff. The album is With Help from Friends. It has everything on it except for 3 songs are original. I did do 2 covers. One is Don't Squeeze My Charmin. The other one is Wonderful World, which I did tonight. And the other one is, if you go to church, everybody has sung the doxology. And I was driving up to Austin one day, just going, and all of a sudden, this melody comes, and I start singing the doxology to a different melody. And I talked to Walter about it, and he said, I've never heard that melody before. So I go on to Spotify and I plug in doxology, and I listen to over 200, and they're all the same ones. So this one is on my CD. It's about 1 minute and 30 seconds, but
it's new and different.
It's new and different, and it was kind of fun to do. Walter played on that one with me too, and that was fun.
And that album, again, the premise was that you had help from your friends.
Right. I had so many talented people on that. I mean, far more talented than me, and they made me feel like a real musician. It was a lot of fun.
Wonderful.
I think probably my favorite part of it, though, was the drummer. My son played drums.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
and that was a lot. And he'd been in my band program from beginner to graduation.
And in my house.
And you know that it didn't matter. It didn't matter. He loved playing. He still loves playing.
Great.
So that was a lot of fun for me because now I have. I always have that record that hey, we played together.
And you have 2 albums.
Right, I have 2. One EP has 5 cuts on it. The title is Road Trip. The title track on that is Road Trip. In fact, I think I did every song on that one tonight.
I think you did too. The Skeletons is on that. Food Truck is on that.
Yeah, The Wink, Into the Wind, and Road Trip. Yeah, and I'd been in the studio before because the church that I went to, we did live CDs, studio CD. I mean, just so it was nothing new, except now I'm on the vocal end of it, and that was kind of trippy at first, and then once I got used to it, it's like.
So, I know that we are or have approached the top of the hour. At this point, where can people find your stuff? Where can people find you if they're listening?
I'm right here.
Want to seek out more? Are you choking,
Yeah.
Josie?
Okay, thank you for taking that because now I don't have to cough.
Here we go.
Well, let's see. I'm working on setting up a Bandcamp page because I learned after Tuesday. Yeah, when stuff comes up on Spotify in 30-second snippets and it's very unfortunate parts of the songs, like, wow. I mean, I was laughing with y'all. It's like,
It was a sample.
yeah, it's like, okay, it's like, what's the worst possible place we can put the sample? Hey, right here. So,
After 15 years, my wife left me.
yeah.
Holy fuck! Thursday night's gonna be dark. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do have a Bandcamp page. Of course, my music is on Spotify. You can find it in iTunes. You can find it on Google Play.
Are you on Facebook?
I'm on Facebook. If you do a search for Almost Good Music.
Almost Good.
Yeah, Almost Good Music.
You have a website?
I do have a website. Can't remember what the website address is right now,
But if you go to his Facebook page,
you can find
it's
it.
linked in the About section.
It's there. I do have Reverb Nation. I am on Reverb Nation.
Do you have Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter?
I have none of those.
Okay. So, how about merchandise? Do you have, besides those 2 albums, do you have stickers, CDs,
I have.
buttons? We know CDs, dogs.
Yeah.
Stickers, buttons.
I have
A
none of
cigar
those.
box.
I have a cigar box where I keep my CDs and stuff, and so yeah.
So people can purchase these how?
I mean, with digital, the easiest way is probably just go to Google Play or iTunes and download them directly. If you see me at a show, I usually have a cigar box with me with stuff in it.
Gotcha. Do you have any plans as to make any additional merchandise, or you're just keeping it simple? We're just keeping it simple. I show
Probably-
up, I play, you can buy a CD.
Pretty much that, yes.
Gotcha. In closing, you want to tell anybody anything? Give shout outs, people you enjoy playing with?
Oh gosh. Up in this area, Tim Bridenstine, Tim O'Grady, Nathan Crawford. These are some great guys to play with. Dan Tritton, Ben Medina, Kenny Tyndall. I mean, there's just so many people up here that are so much fun to play with and have, I mean, just brought so much joy to performing for me.
Moving up here, completed or made your music family?
Yeah. I mean, in San Antonio, there are people I still keep in touch with and follow. I mean, my guitar hero and songwriting hero is a fellow named Claude Morgan. I've been a fan of his for years now, and I mean just friendly guy, amazing guitar player. If there's something that you want to know, he'll show you, and it's a lot of fun. Bill Case, the guy that played lead on a lot of my stuff on the CD, he got to tour with Eddie Rabbitt in the '90s. He toured lead guitar with Eddie Rabbitt.
That's cool.
So I've got like music royalty they played on the CD. When I was working on Wonderful World and 100 Degrees in the Shade, I did those at open mics, and there were two gentlemen, Jack Pledge and Artie Harpman, that would come up and play along with me. And there was one point where they played, and I happened to record it, and I listened to it, it's like, oh my gosh, this is where those songs go. And just on a whim, I asked them if they would record with me, and they agreed to. There were so many people on Pretty Poison. I had a great cello player, Kelly Hetchler, that just really added to that song. The school that I fed, which was actually the high school I graduated from, the orchestra director there is an amazing keyboard player, and he came in and added so much to it with piano and string parts. There's tons of people that I'm forgetting that helped me with that CD, but
I'm excited to listen to this.
I can't thank them enough for loaning their talents.
So again, Ed Chapman from South Beloit, Illinois, who has an upcoming show that you said the 20th?
The 20th.
And then the last Saturday as
Last
well.
Saturday. Right.
That's the lakefront in Delavan.
Right. The Lake Store Lounge.
There you go, Lake Store Lounge. I'll
8
get
o'clock.
there. And you can check him out on Facebook, Almost Good Music. He has a website, and you can listen to his music on Bandcamp soon to be, as well as Spotify and other streaming services. You can always go back as well and watch the live video too. Next week we have a band from Indiana called Publicity Stunt. Hopefully coronavirus didn't kill them, because they were supposed to come play last year at Union Park Tavern, and their lead singer was hospitalized because he had an upper respiratory infection.
Oh,
so
I'm not gonna make that joke.
yeah, nope. So hopefully you don't have Ebola, coronavirus, and may the night guide you well. We will catch you on Tuesday night with a sneak peek for Thursday. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Come on and listen to Jess. She got her